Hi, I'm Mary Sue Sweeney Price. I'm director of the Newark Museum in Newark, New Jersey, and I'd like to invite you into an amazing exhibition and installation by Yinka Shonibare called Party Time, Reimagine America.
It's like there is party time.
There's Reimagine America.
Reimagine America.
It looks like one big party.
Not in an art gallery, but actually in the 1885 National Historic Landmark Ballantine House, or 1885 Victorian mansion. This installation by Yinka Shonibare totally turns Victoriana on its head.
It really did.
Never seen nothing like it.
It was almost like I just crashed the party.
What he has done is to take the dining room of the Ballantine House and actually use it as a canvas.
There's the statues.
And it's a joyful scene.
I certainly hope people will smile when they see this. There's a lot here to spend time with.
My name is Krista Clark. I'm curator of African art at the Newark Museum.
I'm Ulysses Dietz. I'm the curator of decorative arts and curator of the Ballantine House at the Newark Museum.
I'm Yinka Shonibare, and my installation is here at the Ballantine House. I use Victorian themes in my work, and my works seem to work very well in those environments. So I was excited when I was invited to work here at Ballantine House.
From the very beginning of this project, I've always thought that this was an ideal thing to do in the house.
When I was invited and I got literature on the house, I was kind of fascinated really by the family who lived here, and I wanted to work with the ideas related to the house somehow. The history of the family who owned the house is that they made their money from beer, and I was thinking about ideas around, intoxication and excess. But I wanted to do it in a playful way. So I had to imagine a dinner party they would have had, but with a bit of poetic license.
It looks like they're rich.
And
still
everything looks pretty, but there's one scene. They might be naughty.
19th century.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see where his hand is. I really didn't realize.
She put his legs on the table.
She's relaxing.
She should be relaxing with feet on the table.
You have the lady, the presumed lady of the house at the head of the table, and her feet are on the table in a completely inappropriate manner, and she's kicked back and drinking a glass of wine.
Does your mom let you have your feet on the table when you're at home?
No.
So my work is not really about reality or trying to document the family exactly. It's a bit more exaggerated and excessive. The family wouldn't have actually lived that way. But this is art, so this is kind of poetry.
And everybody has on African clothes.
I would rock a pair of pants like that with a cute shirt.
Colors of the fabric and how they all seem to mesh together with the cheers.
I like that chair. It looks like a pattern. That chair looks like an animal.
People are so drawn to the patterns that they see on the designs. In this particular work, there's hangers, there's all these great patterns on the cloth. The fabrics, I think, are really an artist's palette. They appear to be so modern and contemporary, but they have this history that stretches back 150 years.
That's primarily why I use the fabrics, because they refuse stereotypes, if you like. They have a history that's hidden. The fabrics are Indonesian-influenced batik, produced by the Dutch for sales to the Indonesian market, and then they tried West Africa, and the fabrics were very successful there. And after the periods of independence in Africa, the 50s and the 60s, the fabrics were adopted as a sign of African nationalism. But I like the fact that something which is supposed to represent Africa has all these other layers.
And I see something very fascinating. Even though that is an African fabric, it seems to bring to focus the Western style with the African touch.
Yeah, I mean, it's the colors are amazing.
Colorful. Yeah, it's very colorful.
But where's the head? I can only see the neck.
They don't have any heads.
Looks very weird without a head.
But you can actually get expression without a face being there.
They have no heads, the way that a lot of my figures don't have heads. And I started doing that as a joke about the French Revolution when rich people had their heads taken off. It's a kind of metaphor, really, for the gap between wealthy people and not so wealthy people. So there's a bit of provocation in the piece, but it's also not to be taken too seriously because it's tongue-in-cheek.
What are they doing over there?
At the far end of the table, you have a couple who are in somewhat of an embrace.
They're kissing.
The man has his arms outstretched and the woman is grasping the man, and it seems as if they're kissing.
May not be.
They just don't have the heads on.
But perhaps he's taking a peek at her décolletage.
And the wine glasses are full, and there's one spilling, and they're
The quail eggs, I found that interesting.
quail eggs and lettuce leaves and oyster shells.
Oysters, the setting of the table, even the centerpieces, the flowers.
I mean, the presence of a peacock in the room is interesting.
Peacock. Is that a pheasant or peacock?
The guy holding a peacock.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're serving peacock for dinner, probably.
There's just so many wonderful details that conjure up a rich, imagined scene, but the visitor is allowed to let their imagination roam free.
I see this, I see like people in a festive mood.
But they're all drunk and they're having a wonderful time.
Like a harvest with the fruits, the bird, and everything in the room. It's like giving thanks.
So you can make up the story by looking at the details are very vivid, but they don't tell you exactly what you're supposed to think about it. And I think that's particularly what will capture children for a piece like this, is that they will look at all these details and be constantly amused and interested and made more curious by new things that they see. And I hope that adults are going to take a lot of time to look at this piece too, because the more you look at it, the more it will reveal to you.
I'm Mary Sue Price, and I invite you to visit this exhibition and all of the treasures in our 80 galleries. The Newark Museum, 100 years always new. To learn more, visit us at newarkmuseum.org.
The Newark Museum's Centennial celebration is sponsored by Prudential.